Say it's really hard to describe like the culture, how it's shifted, especially with social media. I almost feel like it was easier to deal with the bombardment and the harassment and all of the kind of
I agree
negativity
with
before.
you. When I was developing this, my gosh, there wasn't even emails.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, same here. When I even started, it was like,
Right.
yeah, we didn't use
Right.
any of that.
So when I was getting out the word, when I was developing a way to communicate about the third way, it was in a seminar situation where people actually had paid a price to listen to my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether they wanted to agree with it or whether they liked it or not, it was a different kind of a situation because they had paid a price to at least listen to my opinion.
Yes.
That's a completely different thing than what's happening right now with people just not theoretically wanting other people's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
It
yeah.
seems that in all media, it's not just necessarily, I think, in the dog training thing, is that the culture has taught people that the way to make themselves look better is to make other people look bad.
Oh my God, and that's so narcissistic.
And it's a very difficult atmosphere for anybody to do anything in.
Yeah, it's toxic. And one of my huge concerns is that it's like, I want to educate people about third way. It's changed everything for me. And I feel like in order to do that, there's got to be this shift in how we treat each other. And without that, well, and honestly, and I think in sometimes, people that are concerned about, no offense to anybody, but I think there's times where people, claim to be nervous or whatever about putting themselves out there, and then they end up bashing people themselves. And it's kind of like this whole thing about we just need to find a way of constructively having difficult conversations. The more successful you are, the more flack, the more of a target you're going to become.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it actually affects your pocketbook
Right.
or your bottom line.
Well, I guess what just came through my head also was why do people want to put it out on social media? For my own self, when I was developing the third way, my intent was not to change the global dog community. My intent was, my own little backyard and the people that I was dealing with and the dogs that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
It just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
But I wonder if maybe the best course of action for people who are developing their own thought process and their own processes in any venue is get a good handle on it, get results
Yeah.
that are happy, that make you happy, not the world happy, but make you happy. Validate what you're doing
Yeah.
to be able to say, yeah, this is really working.
Yeah.
Because it validates, and I think that's how it happened with the third way.
Yeah,
Was
well,
that
it's
I would take dogs and start experimenting with, well, if I present information this way, what happens? If I present information this way, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, I had to have a good idea of what information I wanted to present and what result I was looking for from the dog.
Yeah.
And then experimenting with how I could get those results.
What I feel like you're also saying, and to be quite blunt and not to sound too Captain Obvious, but you have to have some level of confidence. And I think with that, just personally, and I think with that also comes being comfortable with making mistakes. And I feel like there's this culture in dog training where, oh, you better not make a mistake on camera, or you better not make a mistake in general, and that making mistakes is a bad thing.
First of all, who determines that you've made a mistake?
Right.
And what kind of mistakes are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So, getting down to brass tacks when we're talking about dogs, guess what? This is one, and I think I talked about that on your program. This is one big fat guessing game.